For those of you who don't know me, my name is James Carpenter, and I'm one half of the new social enterprise called Atma Cycles. That would be the young, good-looking half. I'll shortly introduce Alex, who is the other half of Atma, and the person whose inspiration this new venture is. Amongst other things, Alex will take you through the evolution and development of Atma Cycles to this point in more detail. But right now, I'd like to set some context for what we're attempting to do and what we'd like to achieve tonight. So sit back, enjoy the ride. As you can probably see from the displays and information around you, Atma Cycles has come to exist so it can give away bicycles, and as many as possible to people in impoverished circumstances. As a first step, we'll be giving bicycles to teenage schoolgirls in India. And to do this, we're commencing a business that will sell bicycles. At first here in Australia, and then as far and wide as we can. For every bike we sell, we will give a bike away. Atma is Hindi for soul. So every bike we sell will have a soulmate somewhere in the world. So why do this? As a social enterprise, we feel that Atma Cycles is a business and philanthropic idea whose time has come. Despite decades of world economic growth unparalleled in human history, a huge proportion of the planet's people remain mired in poverty. Conventional economic wisdom tells us that trade, and particularly free trade, is the best means of lifting marginalised people out of poverty. Give people clear access to the markets of the developed world for their products and services, so the argument goes, and the revenue they generate will drive permanent improvement in their own economies. And whilst in some ways this has happened and is occurring, witness the growth of a middle class in India, it's a macroeconomic solution that moves at a snail's pace. The concept of fair trade has been advanced in recent times as a means of raising living conditions in the developing world. Now, for me at least, there are real doubts about how higher prices achieved for existing exports within established trade relationships can flow through to non-related communities and raise living standards. And this doubt grows when you consider that the revenue generated from increased prices can be quickly affected in those circumstances by exchange rate movements. Meanwhile, billions of people go without access to the most basic education, health and employment services. The ongoing explosion in the world's wealth since World War II, short-term blips like the GFC notwithstanding, continues to pass them by. So for us, it's time to look at microeconomic solutions to break the poverty cycle and achieve on-ground changes for the better, and do it now. There's a small but growing number of social enterprises, club which Atma now belongs to, that stand ready to move into this space. And Alex is going to talk about one or two of them shortly. In our opinion, in doing so, they have the greatest potential to carry some improvement directly to those who desperately need it the most. There are compelling reasons to us why the social enterprise model is the best fit for solution to meet this challenge. First of all, sustainability. Now, Atma's not the only organisation that distributes free bicycles to people in poverty. Our distribution partners, Mandeshi, have been doing so in Maharashtra state in India since 2007. World Vision gives bikes away to villages in Africa. And I'm sure that if you look online you can find numerous others. But they're all dependent upon donations, bike by bike, to do so. Their programs are small scale and intermittent. In contrast, the provision of free bikes by Atma will be constantly driven by ongoing sales in first world markets, In other words, the essence of consumer power change. Secondly, efficiency. Atma will supply free finished products that will be packed and shipped to one distribution point before being sent to recipients. We won't be handing out cash. We won't be making payments to non-profit organisations that have bureaucracies, overheads and questionable governance that sap value that's destined for people who have great things. We won't be supporting government programs that have little effect. We will supply a product across the lowest cost route from manufacture to end use. And the other is new partnerships. As a social enterprise resourced by ongoing consumer power in developed economies, we hope to be seen by existing distribution organisations in developing economies as a worthy partner. There's every reason to expect that our product supply will enhance their visibility, and we're hoping that this will give us leverage to negotiate relationships that continue to get the supply job done. And as these mature and deepen, there's every possibility that new opportunities to extend the giving model with other products will come along. So these are just some of the immediate benefits that we see through social enterprise working at a microeconomic level. So, why give away bicycles? And why give them to women? In 2007, the state of Bihar in northern India was faced with a pretty alarming decline in secondary school enrolments and attendance by girls. They'd suffered drought, endemic drought for years, and impoverished rural communities that were almost literally on the verge of starvation couldn't afford to get their children to school, or all of their children to school, and they increasingly kept the girls at home. To counter this, the government started a program where it gave bicycles away to 14-year-old schoolgirls. 2 years later, the International Growth Centre, through the universities of Connecticut and California, conducted a study analysing the results, and they were dramatic and conclusive. For girls living between 2 and 15 kilometres from a secondary school, attendance rates went up by just under 30%, and the vast majority of those new attendees stayed in school to completion. Now, the distances that these girls had to travel could be covered in good time on a bike without exhaustion, and families were happier about letting them attend because they still had time to fulfil their family duties and were not at risk, the same risk of harm as if they were on foot. Former chief economist of the World Bank, Mr. Larry Summers, once observed that investment in girls' education may well be the highest return investment available in the developing world. He was alluding to the fact that if a girl obtains an education that equips her with employable skills, and she can access a marketplace where those skills are needed, it's not just the girls who improves her circumstance. She takes her family with her. The population of India's Silicon Valley, Bangalore, has increased from 3 million to over 9 million people in a bit over a decade because job winners took their families with them when they moved there. So we come to today. We want to help lift as many girls and their families as possible out of poverty, and it starts by giving a girl a bike. But we need your help to